What if everything you've been taught about power is a trap? What if the real secret isn't showing strength, but holding it back? Machiavelli knew the truth. True power isn't in what you flaunt, but in what you keep hidden. While the world runs around seeking attention, the powerful stand in the shadows, letting everyone else make the noise. In public, you're not just being judged by people, you're being watched by opportunity, reputation, and those waiting for you to falter. You don't win by trying to stand out. You win by remaining flawless, invisible even in the midst of all the noise. Real power isn't about impressing others, it's about being untouchable. In this video, we'll uncover 9 behaviors and emotional cues that, if exposed, can silently strip you of your control and mystique. These are the subtle actions that weaken your power, and in some cases, can destroy it. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. We'll also discuss how to replace these behaviors with more effective strategies and emotional control. Let's dive into the first behavior, which is one of the fastest ways to diminish your influence: complaining in public. While it may appear that you're being relatable, to those who truly understand power, it's merely a sign of weakness. Machiavelli noted, when you complain in public, you signal 2 fatal weaknesses: you lack control, and you seek sympathy. Both are poison. Power attracts those who can endure hardship without displaying it. Once you share your frustration publicly, you create an image not of a threat or mystery, but of someone who requires something, and the world will begin to treat you accordingly. Stay silent. Endure in private. Let them wonder how you manage to stay composed. The second behavior to avoid is revealing your insecurity. It's fine to express doubts privately with someone you trust, but never in public. When people see you admitting weakness, they begin to believe it, even if it's not true. Say, "I'm not good at this" enough times, and soon no one will believe you can do it. Mention "I lack confidence," and people will lower their expectations of you. Machiavelli understood that appearances create reality, and nothing destroys authority faster than showing vulnerability. So, even in doubt, maintain your composure. Let your uncertainty remain unseen behind confident posture. Boasting about your plans is the third behavior to avoid. This is what unnerves people, not what you say, but what you deliberately withhold. Never openly discuss your upcoming moves. You've seen people loudly talk about their future successes. Machiavelli would see this and use it against them. By sharing your plans in public, 2 things happen: people no longer feel compelled to help you, thinking you're already succeeding, and others gain the opportunity to sabotage you before you even start. Keep your intentions to yourself. Let your success be a surprise. Move in silence until your achievements are undeniable. When asked, simply smile, shrug, and offer nothing, because power is best gained when it's unseen. The fourth mistake is taking public sides in petty conflicts. You may think standing up for someone makes you loyal in private, but in public, it makes you predictable. Machiavelli advised rulers, never get involved in others' quarrels unless it benefits you. Engaging in disputes makes you an unnecessary enemy and breeds alliances based on emotions, not strategy. Most dangerously, it reveals your values before you have the power to enforce them. Let others expose themselves. Let them argue. You observe, position yourself, and remember. Public neutrality is not cowardice, it's the preservation of future power. The fifth behavior is hunger for attention. There's nothing more apparent than desperation. Whether you're forcing laughter, seeking validation, or chasing approval, once people sense you need them, they own you. Machiavelli believed the more you rely on others, the less they value you, especially when the need is emotional. When you walk into a room desperate to be liked, you make yourself replaceable. But when you enter with calm, composure, and indifference, you create a presence they can't quite define. And what they can't define, they can't dismiss. The sixth behavior is breaking under pressure. Want influence? Want power? Then be the one who doesn't need the room. Let others come to you. Never crack under stress, even a little. Public moments of tension, arguments, accusations, these are tests. Most people fail not because they explode but because they leak their frustration. Their voice quivers, their expression falters, and their body posture weakens. The audience immediately notices this, even if subconsciously. And at that moment, your credibility cracks. Machiavelli never showed pressure. He absorbed it like armor absorbs arrows. Even when he was seething inside, he remained calm outside, controlled but not robotic. When people see that nothing disrupts you, you become a psychological anchor, a figure around which they adjust. The seventh mistake is justifying every move. This is the flaw of those who feel they must explain themselves constantly. You say something controversial, provoke a reaction, then panic and begin to clarify, soften, or defend yourself. In that instant, you lose control. The crowd now controls the narrative. You're reacting to them instead of leading. Machiavelli never explained. He redirected. Instead of backing down, he would make people question their own reaction. If they asked for an explanation, he'd simply say, "Perhaps you misunderstood me, or maybe you understood me perfectly." Either way, he kept control of the narrative. The eighth behavior is revealing bitterness toward rejection. So, the next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, resist it. Let your silence provoke their introspection. Never show bitterness toward rejection. If someone ignores you, excludes you, or chooses someone else, you may feel hurt, but public bitterness is self-sabotage. It shouts, "I noticed. I care. And now I'm weakened by it." Machiavelli would call this emotional suicide. When you're ignored, dismissed, or overlooked, respond with detachment, no passive aggressiveness, no fake smiles, just stillness. Make it seem as if their actions freed you, that your attention is valuable, and they've simply removed themselves from access, expecting you to chase after them. When you don't, they'll chase you instead. The ninth behavior is publicly criticizing someone more powerful. Never publicly criticize someone who holds more power. Not because they don't deserve it, but because you don't gain anything from it. Calling out someone superior only does two things. People perceive you as jealous, even if you're right, and the powerful see you as a threat to neutralize. Machiavelli would identify their weakness, yes, but he would never attack first in public. He'd wait until their guard was down, wait until it made more sense to elevate them, just before allowing them to fall. If you must criticize, do it with precision and preferably through a third party. Because power isn't about stating the truth, it's about knowing when the truth is useful. You've already learned what to eliminate. Now, it's time to understand what to replace it with. Swap complaints for quiet endurance. When others complain, they reveal their needs. But when you endure silently, you cultivate an air of mystery. Machiavelli would never show pain, instead, he would channel it. In public, your silence in times of struggle becomes a source of intimidation. Why? Because people fear what they can't understand. If you're under pressure but remain composed, they begin to wonder, how bad is it really? Why hasn't he cracked? What's he planning next? You don't need to force a smile. You don't have to pretend. What's important is projecting emotional indifference, the kind that makes others question their own strength in comparison. Your pain can be a powerful weapon, but only if it remains hidden from view. Replace insecurity with strategic ambiguity. Insecurity is a signal, ambiguity is a mirror. The insecure explain themselves. They overshare. They seek validation. But Machiavellian ambiguity is different. It intentionally leaves others uncertain. You don't say, "I don't know what I'm doing." Instead, you say, "I have a plan," and leave it at that. You don't admit confusion. You ask questions that shift attention away from you. You're not pretending to know everything, you're making them unsure about what you know. Once people believe you're playing a longer game, they'll start overanalyzing everything around you. The moment they're distracted by your ambiguity, you gain the upper hand. Replace boasting with subtle power signals. Announcing your power only weakens it. Revealing it accidentally, now that's how you take control. Powerful people don't talk about their achievements. They let them unfold. You're not a leader just because you say so, you are because others turn to you during moments of uncertainty. You don't tell people you're building something. They notice that your time is carefully guarded. You don't announce victory. They observe your silence while others celebrate. That's real power, not in its display, but in its delay. Once you master this, even your silence becomes a symbol of motion. Replace overt loyalty gestures with quiet allegiance. While everyone else is shouting and choosing sides, you remain silent, not because you don't care, but because you value influence over approval. The strongest loyalty is the kind no one sees. Machiavelli always protected his alliances behind the scenes. You can support someone, but doing it publicly is just theater, and it often costs more than it's worth. If you back someone privately, they'll trust you more. If you maintain neutrality in public, you remain untouchable. That's the strategy. Support others in private. Led publicly by revealing nothing. Replace attention-seeking with controlled withdrawal. The loudest person in the room is often the weakest. So, instead of making noise when you enter, make a strategic exit. Don't speak unless the moment demands your words. Don't laugh unless it punctuates the silence. Don't stand where everyone gathers. Stand just outside their orbit and draw attention there because humans are wired to chase contrast. In a room full of performers, the one who stands apart becomes the anchor, the force they gravitate toward. Machiavelli knew a ruler doesn't win with noise. He wins by becoming the one everyone else adapts to. Replace moments of breakdown with premeditated stillness. When challenged, don't feel the need to defend yourself. Don't attack. Don't try to win the moment. Instead, create what Machiavelli called preset postures, pausing before you respond, staring without emotion, leaning back after being interrupted, refusing to mirror someone else's panic. These deliberate moves break the rhythm of the others. When people expect you to react and you don't, they become confused. Your calmness turns into a form of provocation. And when they start to unravel, you'll be the one who seems like the master of the situation. Replace over-explanation with micro-mystery. The more you speak, the more people define you. The less you speak, the more they project their ideas onto you. And when they project, you control their imagination. So instead of explaining every decision, simply say, "Let's see how this plays out." Instead of justifying your actions, reply, "It made sense to me." Now they must work to understand your motives. In the process, they often assign more meaning than you intended, which works perfectly because Machiavelli didn't want to be understood, he wanted to be interpreted. And those interpretations often held more power than the truth. Replace bitterness with a quiet exit. When you're rejected or ignored in public, don't retaliate. You don't need to justify your actions. You simply disappear. Not out of anger, but with a cold, calculated detachment. The person who removes themselves without drama leaves everyone else unsettled. You didn't argue. You didn't plead. You just left. Now, the crowd fills in the blanks. Did he know something we didn't? Was this a strategy? Why does it feel like we've just lost something valuable? You've made yourself scarce without causing harm. And if you choose to return, your comeback will hold far more weight. Finally, replace criticism with delayed precision. Don't react immediately when someone offends you. Instead, take your time. Observe. Let time reveal their weaknesses. Then, in a different situation, expose a truth so specific, so sharp, that it seems accidental, but it isn't. This is the art of payback achieved through restraint. Machiavelli never outright stated, "That person is weak." Instead, he let their actions speak for themselves and then whispered a pointed phrase to the right audience when their downfall began. This is how power moves through words, not in loud declarations, but in quiet, calculated moments. Control, when done without perception, becomes invisible effort. And Machiavelli never worked in silence unless it created paranoia in others. In public, you're not just showing your character, you're shaping your legend. It's built through what others assume about you and how you handle their instincts. Machiavelli didn't aim to be understood, he wanted to be feared and followed without explanation. Your goal is the same. While most people fill silence, the Machiavellian uses it strategically. Public perception isn't about what you say, but what's left unsaid. Pauses create tension, making people project intelligence and meaning where there is none. Your power lies in saying less and letting others interpret your silence. Control your eye contact as a weapon. You can dominate without touching someone by staring them down or refusing to acknowledge them at all. When someone provokes you, calmly hold their gaze, unshaken, and they will eventually turn away. The moment they do, everyone knows who really holds power. When confronted, redirect with calm, not defense. The most dominant don't win arguments, they ignore them. If someone tries to provoke you, pivot and make them look childish. The room will notice. Once you stop reacting, they will adjust to your rhythm, and you control the space. Your power grows when you're absent. Build a myth around your absence, moving in ways that spark curiosity. Let people speculate about you, creating a narrative that spreads without you. Leave events early, enter late, and speak just enough to suggest depth. Your presence will linger as a quiet legend, echoing through conversations. Let others defend you. Machiavelli didn't react to rumors, he trusted his alliances and allowed others to protect his reputation. Speak in ways that make people enjoy quoting you and defend your silence. When questioned, let others attack your accuser while you remain still. That's how true rulers maintain control. They don't fight myths, they let them correct themselves. Master the exit. Machiavelli knew that timing shapes perception. You can say the right thing but ruin it with a weak exit. Leave while interest is still high, not after it peaks. Walk away mid-conversation with a reason that sparks curiosity, like "I need to handle something. Let's finish this later." When you leave, people won't discuss what you said, they'll wonder why you left, turning you into a figure they remember even after you're gone. Your goal isn't to impress, but to disrupt their certainty, ignite their imagination, and create an unforgettable presence. Presence alone is defensive, power starts when you use it. Machiavelli didn't seek respect, he wanted to move through the world like a weapon, always noticed, never fully revealed. Restraint is half the art, precision is the other. You don't just enter a room with presence, you destabilize it without moving. Use silence as a trap, not a shield. Silence pulls others into mistakes. When provoked, respond with a pause, not words. Your stillness forces others to fill the silence, revealing their true nature. The powerful let silence overwhelm the unprepared. Redirect questions into questions. When cornered, don't answer directly. Ask, "Why does that interest you?" Now you control the moment, shifting the power dynamic. Use micro-movements to unnerve. Small gestures like a lingering glance, a subtle smirk, or a deliberate sip of your drink signal dominance without volume. They create discomfort, making others adjust to you. Praise the powerful with precision, not flattery. Machiavelli would offer public praise strategically, enhancing his protection. He would highlight their strength with simple, undeniable comments at the right moment. This makes you a silent ally, gaining their favor without submission, all while keeping your own power intact. Never reveal who you're truly observing. In public, act as if you're casually engaged, but always be scanning the room. Who's seeking attention? Who's competing with you? Who's pretending not to notice you? Machiavelli mastered this quiet observation, gathering data without being detected. Your power lies in observing, not in drawing attention to yourself. When you see patterns, envy, insecurity, pretense, you gain the ability to manipulate over time, when it matters most. Respond to disrespect with strategic absence. The most powerful move is to withdraw your attention, energy, and words when disrespected. Let the person realize they've removed themselves from your world without you reacting. The crowd will notice, and the disrespectful one will feel isolated, making them lose control. You don't retaliate, you vanish from their interest, and their insecurity becomes their own punishment. Drop well-timed phrases that linger in others' minds. A single sentence can carry more weight than a lengthy speech. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Use words like, "You'll understand later." Sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Power observes, it doesn't respond. Your brief, calm statements stick with people long after you've gone. Your presence doesn't need to be loud. It becomes a living riddle, where people are drawn in, trying to define you but failing. You're a contradiction, warm eyes, a cold voice, and a silent posture that makes you unforgettable. You engage at times, withdraw at others, polite but unpredictable. This dissonance commands attention, and in the confusion, you remain a force that they can't label. Machiavelli didn't just want to be powerful, he wanted to distort clarity, making everyone around him uncertain. If you found this valuable and want to keep strengthening your power, hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. By doing so, you're not just supporting the channel, you're committing to mastering your presence and influence, one video at a time. Power is in the details, and the more you learn, the stronger you become. Stay tuned for more insights that will help you stay untouchable in any situation.